The sun is rising. The bees are buzzing. And the birds are chirping. Wake up! Wake up! It's a new day on New Day Talk Radio.
All right. Somebody said that men are like linoleum. You lay them right the first time, and you can walk over them for the next 15 years. Did that work?
Yeah. Better.
But is it true?
Getting better.
But is it true?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm not sure I got that.
Sometimes.
Linoleum. Oh, that's because linoleum is older than we are, or whatever. All right. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to Take It Off, where we're taking off the baggage that brainwashing has caused and put on us over the past years. Relationship issues, daddy issues, fear of success, fear of failure, and just plain stupid stuff we do. And we just got to do much better, which is why we're here, right? We have Carrie, Audrey, myself, and Mai here today.
Hello.
And we're challenging all of us to take off the mask that society has put on us, forced on us. We're healing ourselves individually, we're healing our families, and hopefully we'll be healed also. We'll heal ourselves also. So welcome to our panel for the day, who will be discussing the topic, part one of interracial relationships,
Hot topic.
pros and cons.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
But first, allow me to honor our women, the queens of the earth, and that very special lady. You know who you are. It's something we do because you can judge a society by how they treat their seniors, how they treat their children, and how they treat their women, right? And one of our purposes is to make sure that women know that we honor them. Carrie, what do you think? Do we honor them?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
We do.
huh?
Sometimes.
All right, so
We can do better. We can definitely do better.
we can do better.
Definitely do better.
And
What's on your mind?
Didn't say it. What?
I'm nervous. This is our second show. Can we get a hand for a second show?
Yeah.
Of course. Great
All right.
feeling.
So we're going to honor our women with a song, and we do this every week. All right? And I'll do this a cappella.
Acapella.
Pa-da-pa-da-pa-da-pa. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. And fill my heart with song, and let me sing forevermore. You and I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you. Boom, 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 boom.
Very good.
a quick break right now, and we'll come back. We'll jump right into the discussion.
Can you hear me, Donald?
Support our sponsors, Miss My by Design for all your bridal needs, keeping it 100, real talk for real people, and Donald Drake Real Estate Services. Call Donald to buy or sell your next home.
So, I'm going to read this real quick. This is from online article after some research material. Race mixing is generic annihilation. If our numbers are going down, it's because we are being so marginalized and are forced to carry so much dead weight. Guess who the dead weight is? This is somebody talking about interracial relationships.
What's that quote? Where's that?
This is a comment from some of the research that's done on the interracial relationship. So this lady jumped in and she's like, it's generic annihilation. It's a Caucasian lady, of course.
Okay.
So it's kind of Trumpian, you know. They're afraid that we're being diluted out and, you know, and
that
gone.
was a Sean Spicer comment, wasn't sure.
Yes, exactly. So then someone else commented, and then there's another white guy, looks like one of the Duck Dynasty guys. He made a good comment talking about what she was saying, and her response was, "No, I'm not a member of one human race. No one is. Recent scientific discoveries prove abundantly I don't have any more to learn." Anyway, she goes on just talking about just stupid stuff. The point is, there's a lot of stupid stuff going on regarding race relations.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
what do you guys think?
Well, unfortunately, we live in a society where everyone has their own thoughts, their own actions, and how they want to handle things.
Okay.
And so by us dealing with a world that we happen to live in, we have to learn, no matter what we don't like, we have to accept what is. And what is that we all are here and we have to all accept it and learn to get along with it. And not only that, welcome everyone to get to know our differences. And is it so different sometimes? Sometimes it's not. And some things we have that are a lot alike. And some things are different.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm just sort of thinking, like, if when it comes to interracial relationships, I mean, you know, a Caucasian person could marry someone of Asian descent, or someone of, you know, with a Spanish background could marry another race. The issue really seems to be more so focused on when black people don't marry another black person. That seems what the issue is. We can call it interracial dating all we want, but at the end of the day, the controversy really is squared right smack dab center in what a black man, does he want a black woman, and vice versa.
So wait, are you saying that if an Asian lady, if a Chinese lady marries a white guy, it's not such a
It's
big deal?
accepted.
It's nowhere close to being as controversial as when black people marry outside of their race.
I
Okay,
agree with
okay.
that.
Bar none, not even close.
All right. People, I know there's a few thousand people out there listening. You can call in if you want to chime in on the discussion. If you have comments, no stupid talk, but if you have something to add to the conversation, call in 310-928-1800, 310-928-1800, and you can take it off with us.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What is your gut and the callers too? What's your gut reaction when you see a black man or woman with a white man or woman? Because that's the opposite, and then there's all the in-betweens. But what's your gut reaction? So I don't know if I should go first or not, but when I see it, And you know, part of it might have to do if you're single or not. I was contemplating this idea. So, if I see a black lady who I would be interested in, and she's with a white guy, it's kind of like just a little bit, you know. It's not personal, and it's okay. And I have white friends, so it's okay. But I want to know, what's your gut reaction? We have a caller on line 3.
Welcome.
3.
Yes, caller. What's your name and city you're from?
Name is Gary, and in reference to the gentleman that is to your far left.
Okay,
I think he's talking about me.
I think so.
Mr. Carey.
I guess he's not talking about these other two fine ladies.
Thank you.
The reason why I'm pausing is because I'm echoing.
Okay. Well, we hear you fine. So, what do you think?
Based on what he said, the reason why there's an issue there is slavery.
Right.
Wait. Not again. We're still talking about slavery? That was a long time ago.
No, pause for a second. You wanted folks to call in.
That's right. Let's hear you.
All right, let me
The bottom line is this. No other race had that type of issue with white folks.
Right. Well, I think we're talking about the collateral damage that has ensued as a result.
Exactly.
You know, when we look at, all the people who may have migrated to the United States, coming for a better life, whether been from seeking asylum or whatever the case may be, people of African descent are the only ones who were forced out of their native homeland
Exactly.
to come here. And we've seen enough movies and so forth.
we weren't immigrants like I heard on the news the other day at one of the presidential press conferences.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
immigrants came freely. We
Immigrants typically don't come over here in bonds and chains.
didn't- Absolutely
It's
not.
not the
So
truth.
that's-
Okay.
It's
okay.
not the truth.
All right. So there's an issue. There's a historical perspective that we have to have, which makes it a relevant concern.
Yeah. Well.
All right. So we'll continue this discussion without the
for
caller.
calling.
Thanks for calling in. So if a person, okay, what about stereotypes? Is it different for Korean, white, other Latin countries, Mexican, if we are with other people?
Yes.
Can you love another race without the stereotypes?
Yeah, the stereotypes exist all the time. Usually when you see a black man with a white woman or another woman, it's usually because he feels that gives him validation, or maybe it will increase his odds to advance in his career, or sometimes just because he thinks that it makes him look better, because he achieved something that he couldn't achieve years ago. So a lot of stereotypes come from just wanting something you were not able to have or that was forbidden years ago. For women, a lot of times when she feels that she's tried so many different black men in her life and she wants to step out and do something
Well,
different.
how many black men is she trying?
Well, it depends
No one
on.
knows. That's each individual woman.
So wait a minute, Mike, are you saying that black men will hook up with a white woman? Is that a way of getting back at the white man, so to speak? So now I got your woman. You took our women, I got your woman now, and so that's some sort of societal plateau that he's reached. Is that what you're saying?
Or it could be if he's reached a higher income bracket and he feels like he needs to have another woman on his arm to help him fit in to this new society.
To the corporate America,
Exactly,
which is a lot of
corporate
time it's going to
America.
be more of your Caucasian descent. So we can assume. How about that? You can assume that that's what that gentleman is doing. Who knows from what, like Maya stated, who she has spoke to, and they're saying that could have been behind the scene their reason, or a lot of times you can see them where they will. We'll go outside of that one. We have young men that are in college who are athletes, and most of the very good high top ranked colleges is predominantly Caucasian, Asian descent going to the college. So especially back in your 60s, 50s, 70s going to college,
Right.
there weren't hardly that many black young ladies in the college enrolled at that time. So a lot of them did turn to that, because I had a lot of the young men now, well, if I'm going to a game, or if I happen to be going to a college someone's game, and that's what a lot of the young men are stating, well, that's all I'm surrounded by.
That's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. How about this? How about if I go to a all-male college, right? Not a whole lot of girls around. What does that mean?
That means
Exactly.
you
No,
date what's
that means
you date who's convenient at the time.
Maybe that's what
There's
they're saying.
Morehouse College and then there's Spelman College.
They're
There's
next
plenty of
door.
time to, yeah.
So, but it is a cop out, and I know there's something to that. But what I tell people, because there's a lot of high quality women around, black women, particularly I'm speaking of. If you don't see them around, like in Orange County, there's a lesser number of them. If you don't see them around, then guess what? You gotta do a little extra work. You gotta go find them, right?
Correct.
That's
You
right.
gotta go
Correct.
put yourself in.
Correct.
You don't just date the guy
What's
who's sitting next
the
to you
neighbor?
because there's a bunch of dudes around. That's not what we're doing here, right?
Well, unfortunately,
So-
that's what we live in.
I know, but I'm just saying. So what I want, the message I want to deliver in what you're saying, is if you go to a particular college, or you work in a particular place, and you're the only black person around, because that is our reality, then you gotta do a little work. You gotta.
I don't know, but we talk about college. Well, first of all, let's just really keep it 100, right? So if we're talking about college in terms of when most people they have sort of carte blanche to do whatever they want to do, they're away from their parents, guys, and so forth. There's curiosity everywhere. Brothers want to get with everything they haven't seen in their immediate community, and the sisters too. I mean, it's just sort of like there's probably not that conviction and that mandate that says, wow, you know what? I gotta be true to my sisters. Forget that. Look at this big
Exactly.
breast
Hey, that's
Asian
exactly.
babe over here, or whatever the case may
Exactly,
be.
right.
I'm about to get with her. So whatever the case may be. So I think there's a lot of experimenting going on earlier stage, and that sometimes leaves with them as they move on to. I agree.
To the NFL or to the NBA
Yeah.
or to the, what do you call the baseball?
Well, how
league?
about this? In 1910, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, you could get killed for dating a white girl. No, not dating. My bad. For looking at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, like let's say in the 80s, in high school, so that's a place where everybody comes together. It was kind of a status symbol for the black guys to get a white girl.
Most definitely.
And there were some bad white girls too, but
Would that be the OJ era?
and we're gonna take a quick
Okay.
commercial break. On that note, I don't know what you're talking about. OJ was happy because he thought that he wasn't black, and that was his whole point of existence.
But you said acceptance.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what they did because that's what they wanted. That was a status symbol. I wasn't a part of that, but I seen them. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. I think we have another couple of callers on the line, and we'll continue this conversation. All right.
Please support our sponsors, Miss My by Design, for all your bridal needs, keeping it 100, real talk for real people, and Donald Drake Real Estate Services. Call Donald to buy or sell your next home.
What were you saying?
Well, we're going to cut right into me, not Mr. Donald this time. I'm Audrey, and welcome back. We're so happy that you're chiming in to Take It Off Media. What we want to do is go ahead and go into what we were last speaking about was when the era started, that they felt it became more acceptable to date a Caucasian woman, give them more status. But we're going to talk about like what Donald had mentioned, that once upon a time the black man would get killed if he looked at, whistled, or even tried to pick up a doll and give it to a white woman. You weren't allowed to do that, interact at that level. So I have a little bit of proof. We have June 12th, 1967, the Supreme Court struck down state laws which banned individuals of different races from marrying in the Loving versus Virginia decisions. Sunday marks the 40th annual celebration of this progressive milestones applied named, and it's called Loving Day. Can you believe that?
I can believe it. Loving Day. Caller.
Loving Day.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to Take It Off. What's your name and where you're from? You don't have to actually give your name if you don't want to, because we understand.
I don't have a problem. My name is Linda Hester, and I'm calling from Anaheim.
All right.
What's up, Linda? What's up?
Hey.
So, Linda, what do you think?
I think it's a really good, you guys are on to something. I think it's a really good show. I love the topic. The topic today, especially out here in Orange County, I think it's really hits home. You know, I see it all the time, and it is everywhere, but I feel it's at epidemic levels out here. Personally.
Epidemic levels. So what's your gut reaction when you see a interracial couple? Not your long-term reaction, but just the gut.
We lost another one. That's my gut reaction. We lost another one.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, and I've got two brothers, and they have Mexican women, and I think for them, they might not ever admit it to me, but I think for them, they're not looking for a strong black woman. Like Maxine Waters said to Bill O'Reilly when he talked about her James Brown wig. She said she's not going to be intimidated, she's not going anywhere, and she's a strong black woman. So I think the bigger issue is what are you looking for? Are you looking for a doormat? Are you looking for a partner? Are you looking for someone, a yes girl? Are you looking for someone to have some deep conversation with? You have to be honest with yourself, and if that's what you want, that's fine. But don't make it seem like, you know, we're too loud, or we're too strong, or we just talk too much. Maybe you need to up your conversation level. Maybe it's not me, but maybe it's you. You need to work on your vocabulary. But don't try to make it seem like it's something wrong with me, because you're not as strong as you need to be.
Yeah, I agree with the caller about the stereotypes and the attitudes.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you very much.
You know what?
Thank you.
Okay, I got something to say about that. Okay, so this is what I think. Okay, let me just. Okay. So I think that generally speaking, I think black women historically can be very culturally direct and strong, probably because of what they've had to do to. I mean, we have in the majority of black families, there are a lot of single household families that typically is led by women. So you also have a lot of black women raising young black boys and black girls, but in this case, black boys in terms of just trying to make a point. So there may be encounters, and it may be a little bit dysfunctional from all the drama and everything they had to deal with, everything being on their shoulders, and that may translate and sort of have impact on multiple areas of her life, particularly her dating life, and particularly when she's interacting with a man who may, in her eyes, may sort of remind her of her dad that left her when she was a little girl, or her husband, or a guy that left as well. So then
white men leave people too. White men leave their women.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I guess my point is I'm trying to make is that when you look outside of black people and the black experience in America, typically speaking, while everyone has some kind of issues and so forth, the things that black people deal with that's embedded and woven into the fabric of our society is vastly different, and non-black women don't typically have to deal with that. So when the black man encounters those women, and this is not an excuse, I'm just saying oftentimes what I've heard what's happened. So what happens is they don't really experience that level of assertiveness, so to speak. You know, some of the non-black women probably don't have an issue with the man leading or being questioned about what his intentions are and so forth. And so you may see a lot of them sort of depart. Now, it's not an excuse or anything like that. I think we just need to come together and work out. But I think that when you hear about the black woman attitudes and so forth, I think that may be a dynamic or a part of it.
Yeah, we have to talk about that one day, and I think next week we'll do part 2 of this conversation. But part of it is the idea of what is strong, like defining it. Really, I want my lady to be nice. Just be nice.
What is strong? Yeah.
I do want her to have some assertiveness and to have strong opinions and to be able to contribute and more things like that, but be nice. So sometimes men feel like you're not being that nice, and that's kind of the way I sum it up. But point taken. How about this? Tell me what you think about this. So white men tend to stay within their own racial groups more often, right? Of course, we know there's larger percentages of them. And white women are less willing to date outside their race, white women. And we're going to do a little experiment later. But heavier set women, and this comes from the Huffington Post, there's some research done.
Define heavier set.
The heavier set. Remember, she's a brick. 36, 24, 36. So that's going to be add 0.5 to those, multiply 0.5.
Because some women, if they're above 4, they feel like, oh my God, I got to go.
But look at this, and we have some non-statistical proof of this. But heavier set women are more willing to date black men because researcher Cynthia Felicino and some other folks at UC Irvine, they say racial beauty is called the racial beauty exchange theory. Basically, they are heavier set white women are willing to trade down the racial hierarchy by dating a black man.
We'll continue.
Caller, tell us who you are and where you're from. And
hi, this is. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Hi, this is Linda. I'm calling from LA.
Hey,
Hi, Linda.
What's up, Linda?
How are you? I'm calling because I know you wanted on the subject of the interracial, the dating, and the strength of a woman. Me, from a person who dated interracially in my own culture, which I'm African American for probably, over 40 years now, and I've had lots of interracial relationships, and I really get annoyed when people put the relationship and the dating on the head of a color, because a human being doesn't have a race. You have to realize when you're looking for someone to date, you have to already have a bar or a standard of what you're willing to accept as a woman and what you're not willing to accept as a woman. It doesn't care really about what color they are, because at the end of the day, if someone's going to be a perfect gentleman or a great father or a great husband to you and your husband and someone who treats you well and treats your family well, I don't think it constitutes a color, and I don't think it really should matter exactly where that person comes from. I think too much we get caught up on the weak women. The black men want white women because they're weak, and black men don't want black women because they're strong, and they're too headstrong, and then they become black women with attitudes. When I hear a man say that's a black woman with an attitude, to me that's a strong woman who understands what she wants and knows what she wants, and she's confident. I don't know how they substitute that for an attitude. They really kind of, I'm sorry?
Very well said.
I would buy that, except this is America, and everything is different here. And what we have been taught by commercials, by teachers who didn't like us because they were the teachers, by policemen, by pastors who will go up in front of the church and say that, we're lucky that we were captured and brought here, and, they'll continue that line. That's the only problem I have with it. Not just that I have, but it's just...
But I'm sorry, but I disagree. I think it's a cop-out. I think if you're taught well and you learn and you deal with people that can also teach you how to be a better person, whether it's mentors or schools or your parents or your aunt, your uncle, because I'm from the old school. And so I was raised very in a very well-mannered way with my mother and father, who were both strong and independent women, there are things you did not do. Like if you take these young kids today with saggy pants, these girls with freaking dress-ons and Ugg boots and bending over, this is our future. This is, what's going to happen to the dating and the relationship. There's going to be no respect in the marriage, no respect in relationship. We weren't brought up that way. And we were brought up to respect our elders, to treat your women right, to go to school, to do these things. A lot of it comes from the background, who teaches these people, who teaches these men. I mean, I've dated some white guys that were just great, and I've dated some black guys that were great. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to who they are as a person, not the color that they are.
I agree with you, Linda, 100%.
I disagree 2,000%. How about that?
Because we all have some racism. No, before I hang up, we all have some racism, and we all have some prejudice. That's everybody on earth. I mean, that's just who we are. That's just our nature. But we don't have to put it out there where we actually act upon it to hurt someone else's life or to do something different to someone. Of course, with Trump in office, it puts, the nail in the coffin. People have come out from the woodwork, which we've always known is there. But at the end of the day, I still believe in good men are out there. They're hard to find because some are gay. And now I think people putting out it's okay to date a guy that's, bisexual because they're as short as the men. That's not okay.
Yeah.
That's setting your standards low again.
Right.
That's putting your priorities low and lowering the bar because you think that's all there is. That's where your intelligence and your upbringing comes into play to know better and to expect better and to want better.
Okay, Linda.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you for your call.
I do want to say one thing, though, regarding the racism that everybody has. Now, there is a thing of preference. And preference is great because we all have preferences. Just separating that from the idea of racism because those are two different things. But no, just a little clarification, not for you.
I'll agree to disagree. How about that?
Thank you for calling.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, Linda.
Look, I raised my boys to love and appreciate black women.
Absolutely.
And guess who they took to the prom?
And
in this day and age,
it happens.
And good work, Carrie.
Check out Facebook. That's all you got to say.
Well, you have to love who you love and be in a relationship with someone that works for you.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they're the one you have to come home to every day. And even though society may say one thing, but you really have to know what works for you.
Yeah. All I got to say is, I'm a working professional, and there's times we have these galas we have to go to. Every time I put on my freaking tuxedo, why does someone ask me to go get them some water? Or the other day when I'm
they treat you like the help.
Carrie, are you for real?
Oh, this has happened every time. I even hate wearing tuxedos now because I'm mistaken. So, can you show me where the restroom is or something? Or not too long ago in Pasadena, it was La Grande Orange. What was that place called?
We got to continue that, Carrie, because that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do the commercial.
That is funny.
Yeah.
But it's not the first time we've heard that story, right?
Yeah. Shoot.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and give some information. Please see us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Take It Off Media, and email your comments and questions to takeitoffmedia@gmail.com. Obviously, that's TAKEITOFF, capital MEDIA, @gmail.com. We'd really appreciate your comments and your views. Thank you so much.
So the social media tag is Take It Off Media. You can find that.
Once again, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Right. Whew, okay, this is a tough, it's really not that difficult of a subject, but it is a little bit, right? Just because of mostly the history. Now you're talking about your son.
No, please continue. Yeah.
I was just going to say that. And so I was outside the restaurant waiting for my car, valet.
Somebody gave you the keys.
Brand new 2017 BMW. She got out of her car. She wasn't white. She was of Asian descent. She pulled out the car. She put her keys in my hand and said, "Thank you."
And you should have said,
and you
"Thank
actually put your hand out and accepted
because
it.
it's not theft.
No, it's like,
if she
and so
gives it
this-
to you, it's not theft, right?
So right, no, right. The Valley guy came up. So I'm sorry, sir, and whatever else. But it's like so when she says that color is, it's not so much as the color, it's what it represents,
Very much
and what's behind that. And I'll even go out on a limb and say, and let someone else talk too. But I'll go on a limb and say that black men in America has more negative stereotypes
Yes, they do.
than any other freaking species on planet Earth.
That's a short list.
Around, not just the United States, around the freaking
country.
planet.
Yeah.
So that situation, Carrie, made you feel like you didn't belong, or she felt you didn't belong by her giving you her keys and made you feel like the valet. It's almost like you shouldn't be here unless you're the help.
Unless you're working.
So-
Well, you know what I felt? It was interesting you should say that, because when she pulled up, something told me, please don't give me your keys.
You know what?
I could almost, it's like,
An instinct.
oh yeah, it's like almost knew it was going to happen.
But the
Wow,
Asian
that's
people,
horrible.
as beautiful as they are taught the same thing that we are taught, that the same thing that white people are taught, the same thing that everybody else is taught in the Latin countries, is that we are that
Yep.
that lower level.
The lesser,
Yep.
the lesser than.
They are taught.
Oh, you articulate
everyone.
very well. Oh my goodness.
The lesser than.
And they're surprised
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they see something different.
Who did you hear that from? You know, where did you?
I listen and pay attention to the world that I live in.
So it's up to us
You mean
to
tell me you
change
can't
those
dance?
ideas.
You can't dance?
So we have to
Very
change
good.
the minds of people who think that way. So that's where it starts.
Okay, so that is where maybe it starts. But guess what? It might take a couple of generations.
Well,
to
one
make that
second, I
happen.
want to go into something as well
What's that?
to validate what Linda is stating. If you don't mind, give me like 1 minute. We
A
have
whole minute. Dang, they
yes,
talk so
minute,
much.
maybe minute and a half. Sorry. We have this interracial couple that did write in and stated, my husband and I have been married for almost 4 years and together for almost 9 years. Both parents are interracial marriages that have last 30 plus years. Our parents embodied from the freedom to love someone based on who they are, regardless of their skin color, just like what she was stating. We are immensely thankful for Mr. and Mrs. Loving for fighting for the basics of human rights, marriage, and however you want to live your life.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just, I think that's beautiful. I think people should be able to marry who they want
Right.
to. I just think because of the collateral damage, as our first caller alluded to, the ripple effect of that causes us to have to adjust accordingly and so forth. So, I mean, just like, if you have African American sons, I mean, when they get stopped by the police, you tell them what? Do what they tell you to do, keep your hands on the steering wheel and so forth. Or, what's his name? Trayvon Martin got shot because he was wearing a hoodie. I mean, it's kind of
And it
stupid.
wasn't even a policeman.
And wasn't even a policeman. So, I mean, and I don't want to paint with a broad brush. I'm just saying these are common occurrences. And I will also say that there are innuendos and things that go on all the time that are not really talked about that we tend to experience. So when I think about my woman, I want someone who can identify and understand that struggle that I go through, not someone say, honey, I just think you're just being would you be just a little over the top?
That's where
Yes,
that's where the problem. So,
Take a drink.
So you have a situation, and this lady who you love because she's a beautiful Filipino lady, because they're nice, and or white lady or whatever, right? Let's say white because it's the opposite, and it will diminish
Yeah,
as you
true.
get down. So there's a situation that happens, and she says something like innocently, well, he must have done something wrong, right? That's when you have a fight.
Right.
So that's one of the problems, and that's one of the. So thinking of solutions, right?
Sure.
Is people have to have some real heart-to-heart conversations before.
There are no solutions, though. Sorry, Ms. Mike. There are no solutions. The solution is we have to open our eyes and just be realistic. Realistic meaning you cannot judge anyone by their skin color. You cannot. You
Right.
have to be kind to everyone.
Right.
And you need to ask if you work here before you drop the keys off to someone. You don't do that. That's disrespectful. And I would have never put my hand out for her to do that.
And she
And you know
didn't mean
something?
anything back.
Let's just say
That's
I was
the worst
okay.
part.
She gave me her keys. I'm about to take her car and go for a joyride. I would have been in jail,
No, you probably
Easily.
would have been shot.
been shot, whatever the case.
And
may
then
be.
ask the question, why
Right.
you laying down
Right,
the police?
and then it's too late.
Well, he fit the description.
So look at this. So millennials, or younger
I
people.
had a question.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was just going to say that one of the reasons why black women have been so loyal to their black men is because they understand the struggle.
Exactly.
When most other women, they won't understand it firsthand. The black woman has lived it, and she's been there by his side. And for him to not have that anymore, he may miss it, eventually.
Yeah.
But it's something that she understands
Yeah.
for her black sons.
Yeah. But just real quick, something that you were just saying too, in terms of there's no solution. I think there is a solution. I think it's something that we may not think a lot about. Black men need to be fathers to their kids.
Well, that's
whether
awesome.
whether or not they're with the woman or not, it's important for that father to be there and to teach them to respect their mom, whether they're married or not, and so forth. That's huge, because I think that's also will also help the young black boys to appreciate black women. And obviously they could date or marry whoever they want to, whatever else.
Right.
But I think the treasure that black women are to the black community, I'm not sure that's really realized by this new generation and so forth. And I'm not sure to what degree that's really being taught.
It's not. I don't think it is either. And that is a main issue that even if the lady chases you away, because they will do that sometimes.
Right.
You still have to be there. What's up?
It's more than just the fathers being there for the kids. He has to be a good father. He can't teach those bad habits that maybe he picked up along the way.
Right.
He can be there, but then if he's teaching his son all the wrong things, it's not breaking the cycle.
Sure.
So a good father is going to be there, and he's going to learn how to have a good influence and instill some good family values in his son.
Or tell his son, say, look, I messed up, I did this with your mom, or I did this and so forth. That's not the way to go. This is what you got to do.
You do have
and
to
break the cycle.
And stay
of those
firm to it. Stay firm that they don't allow them to do it. Oh, well, you're right, son. I did it before, so this time you get stay firm to what did we discuss?
Yeah, I would agree.
For percentage of those people who would be fine with a family member's marriage to someone outside of their race, broken down by Hispanic, black, and white. So if you're 65 and over, this is a Pew Research information here. If you're 65% or over, there are the age 65. There are 36% of the people would say that it's okay to date outside. And as the age decreases, the percentage increases. So older people, 36% are okay. 30 to 49, 75% of the people are okay. That's a big jump, 36.
Yeah.
So 36 are the old school, Jim Crow, loving.
Yeah, I'm going to say, let me just go out on a limb and say why that occurs. The further removed from the struggle, the more oblivious you are.
Right.
So
and
you don't have a clue.
18 to 29 of white, black, Hispanic are all about the same at around 85% are okay. So the older people are having the problem. So we just need a couple of generations more turnover, and we might be okay.
Well, I can say that, being around young men, young ladies, meaning, from I'll go even to 14 and up. They are not really themselves. They're not really paying attention to that. When they get in the surroundings and everybody's there and that music is on, they're just having a good time with everyone. Once again, like we mentioned, it comes from the elders. It comes from the mom and dad or the uncles who are enforcing the separation. Because, I have a couple of people that I've known who the young men want to date a Hispanic young lady, and so many black men have been killed because those relatives are staying firm. You do not date outside the race, and have asked them to not to, and I get sick of asking, they just kill the black man. So it's horrible, and it really needs to stop within the family separating it like that.
I think the reason why a lot of older people may say that because they see what's happening to our own communities and our black families, and they're being broken and the homes are being separated because the parents or the black families are just non-existent. They're there, but a lot of broken homes. So if the fathers are gone and they're having new families over here, over there, it's causing our black families to be extinct almost, and it's just America.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about those issues because there are reasons, a lot of reasons, for the way things are. You know, it's not all, you know, it's not a cop out saying, you know, it was all because of whatever. But there are a lot of legitimate reasons why.
Most definitely.
So you guys, we got about 4 minutes left to wrap this up for today.
I guess we're going to come back to this next week too.
I
right?
think so. Yes. And you know what I was thinking? Tell me what you think about this. I've never dated a white girl. Now I've dated Latinas, right? Hey, Latinas have real curves. They know how to cook. They're very family oriented, right? They're nice, whatever. They cut somebody if they need to, right? So, but never a white girl. So I was thinking maybe I'll go online and find me a white girl, date her, and then come back and report next week. What do you think?
So basically, is it a adventure, or is it going to be for?
It's research.
Research?
It's research, right? You know.
You guys hear this?
So excuse me, Buffy. I'd like to take you out to dinner, but this is all for an experiment that I'm embarking upon. So,
and then I can come back and tell you how I felt.
It's more than just being curious, Donald.
Me and you.
What's
I'm
that?
not curious. You know,
I think
I'm
you're
happy.
just curious.
Bruh,
But it's okay.
Yeah, they've been doing squats.
I understand. However, yeah, they want to look like us. You know, I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Everyone wants that big butt. What was that song that we grew up on? What was that song? I like big butts, and everybody knows why. Okay. It was so disliked years ago.
I like them strong.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, yeah.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, there we go. It was
got that.
horrific when we saw a lot of our aunties and moms walking around like that, and now I'm in the gym all the time, and I can't believe that you see it on everyone.
They want the body, but they don't want the struggle.
Wait, what they say? Everybody want to be black. Wait. Everybody want to be black, but don't nobody want to be black. Right?
I want the black body, but not the black prop.
Well, I don't think we're ever going out of style. That's just my opinion.
I hope not. So next week we will continue the discussion, and we'll go a little bit deeper about some of the other issues, because there are some issues, and it's a great.
Because we really go hard in the paint about talking about black men and black women's concern of black men not necessarily wanting black women and so forth.
Right,
I mean, I've had lots of sisters say, brothers just don't want me.
That's what they think. You know what? That's what they think, but they are wrong.
Well, we need to talk about that. That's something that is important. We need to have that discussion. Why is it that we find our black men are turning away? I have a couple ideas of my own. Donald.
Hey, they got options.
Start with you.
Experimental dating.
They got options. I'm going to do it to you. Watch.
I mean, I don't have that problem per se. I'm just, bringing up the...
You've heard about it. You've heard about it.
Yes.
You read about it. Okay.
All right, we'll do that. I'd like to thank our composer, James A. Goins, for the music. Engineer, Major Jones. Our panel, Carrie, Audrey.
Miss Mai.
Miss Mai. Got her name. See, that's close. I got Buffy on the brain.
Wow. We need to fix that, Donald. Immediately.
Hey, this is experimental and it's for the greater good, right? I'm gonna do as much as I can.
Come back here and say, you know what? We got engaged. I didn't know what happened.
I didn't know it was so good. Remember, you guys see the movie Undercover Brother?
Oh yeah.
Which is one of my favorite movies.
That was pretty funny.
It was. Funny. Hey, I have a quote from Woody Allen.
All right.
Because this is about love, and we are trying to do better. Love is the answer, but while you're waiting for the answer, sex raises some pretty interesting questions. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for taking it off with us. We'll see you next week. And
the next hump day, right?
Yeah, we'll see you next hump day. That's right, 8 p.m.
And happy Easter, everyone.
Where we'll be taking it off and loving each other.
Love each other.
Keep on pressing to the top. You can do it if you try. Don't let the time pass you by. Never ever give it up. Keep on pressing to the top. You can do it if you try. Don't let the